Hi guys, I'm Boss Nekomamushi, and this is my first video in which I try to analyze the last chapter of One Piece. The chapter I want to talk about is the number 8045, in which we can see many interesting things. First of all, we start in the same situation that we had at the end of the last chapter, the 8044. Indeed, Rufy's remained in that point in which he promised Sanji that he will not move from there if Sanji does not return. And in this chapter it is underlined how strong is the determination of Rufy, also if we already knew how strong is his will. Indeed, despite the fact that Big Mom has sent a great army made by strong members of her crew, Rufy decides to fight against them and so to remain there, and also it refuses to eat the rain because of there is a Japanese sweet that has as name a word that is composed by water and mud, and so also if it is ridiculous, it demonstrates again the strong will of this character, that in this particular situation it's very important, because if Sanji will not return there, probably Rufy will die if the things will remain as they are at the end of this chapter, because Rufy promised that he will not eat anything that is not prepared by Sanji. So also if it will survive against Big Mom's crew, and it is very difficult to think that it will survive fighting alone. If there will be a success, it will be because someone will help Rufy, but in this situation Rufy has not many allies, so it is very difficult to think. Maybe someone will bring him away when it will be unconscious. So this is the only way in which Rufy will be able to leave that place, because he promised that he will not leave. On the other hand, we have a Sanji that in a sense continues the fight of determination, the fight of will that he had with Rufy before. Indeed, in that fight, Sanji demonstrated his determination to leave the crew, while Rufy demonstrated his determination to bring Sanji back. And in this chapter we know better the position of Sanji. Indeed, this becomes clear in the final dialogue with Pudding. Indeed, Sanji is in a very difficult situation. He is forced to marry Pudding because if he will try to escape, Germa 66 will kill Zeph and his real family, that is the one that he has left at Baratie. On the other hand, he cannot refuse to marry Pudding, because in this case not only Zeph will be in a dangerous position, but also the crew, also his Nakama. So he thought about the possibilities, but he didn't find any possibility, and so he decided to surrender to this situation and to end his adventure, because it is the only way to maintain the freedom of the ones he loves. And so in this contest it is very difficult to think about a solution, because we know that Rufy will not die, but if Sanji will not return, Rufy will die, because he will not eat anything. So if he will survive the battles he will fight in this island, because Rufy will not leave the island without Sanji, he will die because of the hunger. So in the end Sanji will return, but it's very difficult to think how, because Sanji cannot return easily to the place in which he left Rufy. But also it's too late, because Rufy is already fighting. So if Rufy will survive the fighting with the help of someone, or if someone will bring him away, we will be in a situation in which Sanji has given up and in which Rufy will not give up. And in this contest Sanji has very few allies because of the hatred of his original family, and because of Big Mom will not allow him to leave. On the other hand, also Luffy has a very few allies, because there are very few nakamas, and they are not strong enough to support him. And if the only person that can support Sanji is Paddy, that doesn't want to have an husband that will suffer for the marriage, so is someone that wants Sanji's happiness, so will help him in every situation. Or on the other hand, a character that have already been introduced in this contest and that can help Luffy a lot is Jinbe. Jinbe probably will be the ally of Luffy in this situation, but it will not be enough, because at this point the position of Sanji is so difficult that the only possibility to bring him back is a contrast with Big Mom. We don't know if it will be a physical contrast, so a fight, or if it will be a sort of discussion, because of the behavior of Big Mom is very particular and very complex. We already saw it in many different situations before. First of all, in the dialogue with Jinbe. Indeed, in that situation, she demonstrated the fact that she thinks a pirate if is free, but on the other hand, this fact contrasted with her possessive behavior. Indeed, she's like a kid that wants to collect everything that she thinks is interesting, and in her case, the interesting things are people of different races. So she wants to collect the greatest number of people of different races she can. And we saw as if a part of her collection wants to go away, her possessive behavior forces her to maintain something, and in the case of Jinbe, this something will be decided through the roulette, so an arm, a leg, and in that case we saw that also Jinbe was in a very difficult situation, similar to the one of Sanji, because he wants to leave but he can't, because if he leaves he loses something he needs. In the case of Jinbe, I think that he thought that without an arm or a leg he will not have been useful for Luffy in order to become the king of pirates, and for this reason I think he decided momentaneously to remain with Big Mom. But also we saw that if something of the collection is touched without the permission, and this is the case of the defeating of Cracker or of another member of the crew, that can be an important member or not, Big Mom reacts with violence, and this is the case of the army sent against Luffy and of the storm. About the storm, I have a theory about this power of Big Mom, because we know that Big Mom ate the fruit Soul. This fruit allows her to interact with souls of living beings, separating it from the body or separating part of it from the body. And we saw that she can also infuse the soul she separated in objects, plants or animals. And also we saw that she can separate parts of her soul from the body. I think that the control of the weather comes from the infusion of her soul or of soul of someone that she separated from the body through her power in the atmosphere, in a sense, in order to control clouds and weather conditions. And in this case she can create storms. And in this chapter indeed we see how the two forces she uses in order to control the weather, Zeus and Prometheus, are quite similar to the Omis, that are the thing in which Big Mom infused a soul. In this contest, if we will have a fight, probably Luffy will be defeated. Luffy will not win in a fight with Big Mom. He can win also if he has a sort of gear 5th, but this possibility is very improbable, because Luffy revealed the gear 4th only a few chapters before the actual one. It's very improbable that he will reveal a very great card such as the gear 5th in this situation. Also because we only saw 2 fights with gear 4th, and because of it's very difficult to win against Cracker, that was one of the strongest men of Big Mom, but Big Mom's level will be certainly different. I think that he will not be able to defeat Big Mom. Maybe there will be a fight with Germa 66, and this could be because of Luffy will talk with Big Mom, and from this interaction Big Mom will decide to give back Sanji his freedom. But in this situation Germa 66 will contrast this decision and probably will fight Luffy and his allies, that in this situation will be Jinbe, maybe Pecoms, and the members of the crew that are on the island with Pedro. About them, we have also to consider the fact that Brook and Pedro have managed to introduce in the castle, while Chopper and Carrot are in the mirror world. And because of this world is linked with all the mirrors on the island, they could easily reach the mirrors of the castle. So both these couples will be able to interact with Sanji. From this dialogue, they will know some information that maybe will make Luffy decide to go in the castle in order to catch Sanji and to bring him back. I think that the couple that has the greatest possibility to do that is the Chopper Carrot couple, because they can easily move from a place to another through the mirror world. But in that moment they cannot communicate with Nami and Luffy. So if this will be the plot, this interaction there will be after Luffy left the place in which he is now. In the end, I want to say two last things about Big Mom. First of all, she demonstrates again in this chapter a behavior similar to Luffy's one during the lunch with Germa 66, because she talks directly about the marriage as something that is done in order to consolidate the alliance with Germa 66. And also she demonstrates happiness because Sanji is a cook. On the other hand, we see how Judge lies, saying that the most important thing is the happiness of Sanji and Padding, because the only thing he wants from this marriage is to make official the alliance with Big Mom. The last thing I want to talk about, and that I found very interesting, is the fact that Big Mom has other little children. And this is very interesting because she now is an old woman, but despite of this fact, she continues to generate older children. And we also see how these children, the little ones, are all together in a room and they are near Big Mom, so I think that she protects them directly, and when they are strong enough to live alone, they leave that place and Big Mom. It is a very interesting fact, and this fact also underlines how Big Mom is a possessive person, because she needs to have them near, because in this way she is sure not to lose them. So the particular situation in which we are leads to many different possibilities. Because of Sanji's will and because of Sanji's condition, probably there will not another meeting with Luffy in that place in which Luffy promised not to move. But probably from now on it will be very important the role of Padding, of Brook, Pedro and Chopper and Carrot, and of Jinbe, in order to pass Luffy the information of Sanji's situation, and in order to help Luffy to bring Sanji back, probably without a fight against Big Mom's crew, but with a fight against Germa 66. The way in which the things will develop is very mysterious. But now we know clearly the position of each character, and so we can try to predict their decisions. That's all for now. We will see again in the comment about the next chapter, the 8046, that will be released around the 18th November. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, put a like and subscribe. I'm Boss Nekomamushi. Bye.